Several years ago, Bob Iger told everyone that linear was no longer going to be the savior of the Walt Disney Company. Their media networks division was going away and being replaced by direct to consumer. Well, now fast forward to 2024, and Disney has just announced they will be partnering with a new bundle featuring Hulu and Disney Plus, ESPN, and of course, Max. Let's talk about the new cable on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is avid viewer of all television, Mr. VashSky. Vash, did you see what happened on Vanderpump Rules last night?
I did not. I think I was watching actually good television, which is Shogun. So that's.
I
was
actually,
there.
I don't know if I made up a name, so I don't actually know if Vanderpump Rules is an actual television show. So here we are. Let's talk about the delivery methods for television. What a nerd am I that I don't want to talk about TV. I want to talk about the distribution methods on it. Disney, Warner Brothers Discovery to bundle streaming service. This by Alex Sherman and Lillian Rizzo from CNBC. Disney and Warner Brothers Discovery are teaming up to bundle their streaming service. The offer is reminiscent of the traditional cable TV bundle and the latest partnership between the two media giants in recent months. Pricing has yet to be disclosed. The bundle will be available this summer. Look, there's a little red mark here. Looks like Disney's down in stock trading, and Warner Brothers is up by just about the same amount in either direction. That's fascinating. The bundle is back. Disney and Warner Brothers are planning to offer their streaming services, Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. I threw in ESPN because Bob Iger also announced on his earnings call that ESPN will be added to Disney Plus in some form. He didn't have any details, which is, of course, the same thing that happened with another announcement that they made regarding ESPN very recently. I think this is form of ESPN number 7 that we're now putting into play. The latest iteration of the bundle, which will be available this summer, will be offered on both the ad-supported and commercial-free tiers. Pricing has yet to be disclosed, but the option will be offered at a discount, according to a person familiar with the matter. Oh, Alex Sherman's great with those. Disney will essentially act as the distributor, in this case, collecting subscription fees from subscribers and paying out Warner Brothers Discovery a percentage. The person added, the mashup of Max, Disney Plus, and Hulu will give streaming subscribers access to a wide breadth of content from broadcast networks, ABC, Fox, cable networks, TNT, TBS, CNN, Discovery Channel, Food Network, Disney Channel, and more. Fox, which doesn't have its own entertainment streaming subscription service, licenses its content to Hulu. That's fascinating, of course, because Disney owns all of the Fox library, and then Fox is now producing their own stuff now and selling it to. This is the portion of Fox that is still not owned by Disney. They're selling that to Hulu. So good for Hulu. Of course, Fox owns another streaming service called Tubi, which is giving Disney Plus a run for its money. The offering, which is reminiscent of the cable TV bundle that has been upended in recent years and continues to bleed subscribers at a fast clip, is the latest partnership between the two media giants in recent months. Oh, and here we go. Warner Brothers Discovery and Disney's ESPN, along with Fox Corporation, that's the other Fox, have also joined forces to offer a sports streaming service, which is expected to launch this fall. So, Vash, will you be subscribing to Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, ESPN?
Ooh, ESPN. I maybe, and I say maybe because honestly, I think people are looking to maximize on value and they're looking for the most content they can get at the best price they can possibly get it. Now, obviously, this is a reiteration of cable. I'm not saying that's not, but look, not everybody's going to have every single streaming service. So if they can get 3 or 4 streaming services in for a fair price, I think that might be a compelling offer for some. My only hesitation about all of this is that wasn't that kind of what Hulu was at one point, and then now we own Hulu, and we're starting to develop that kind of relationship again.
Right. So Warner Brothers was in the list of companies that at one time or another owned shares of Hulu. I think it was only a 10% share at their highest amount. I think at the time it was Time Warner, and then they were when the Fox acquisition happened, Hulu bought out that 10% stake from Time Warner. So I think that probably predates David Zaslav taking over Warner Brothers. I'm not 100% on the timing of all of those things at the same time here. The other person that is not included in this is the corporation is not included is Comcast. Comcast was also not included in the discussions. They weren't even invited to the sports JV that is sometimes referred to as Spulu or Hulu Sports, which sounds like the most likely name at this point between Fox and Warner Brothers and and Disney, whatever form Disney is going to take here, probably ESPN. That one, Comcast probably would have told them to kick rocks and get off my lawn because we sell cable here and not sports JVs from our competitors. They have brought up and so have some of the other cable providers that this might be a cartel, and therefore the DOJ is looking into whether or not it's even legal for those three companies to work together and create a unified product. That will be earth-shattering to the cable industry if something like that is allowed to go, or maybe it won't, because it sounds like Warner Brothers, who is going to bring the NBA rights to the table, might not even be getting those NBA rights. So already we have this partnership in danger from two separate fields, one of them being whether or not they get the NBA rights, and the other being whether or not it's going to even be legal for them to do that. And
Well, also
now,
too, you
go ahead.
have the other leagues who want to get their piece of the pie as well, and they know that this sports JV needs them a lot more than these leagues need the sports JV.
Right. Well, and the NBA and the NFL are on record saying we don't like this one bit. So there could be some companies getting punished here in negotiations
Mhm.
because of their impudence. Uh, but let's focus on this other bundle here. You made a really good point, Vash, talking about bundling of these cable, not cable packages, streaming services. If Disney Plus offends you and nobody wants to watch it, it's a lot easier to cancel Disney Plus. It's a lot easier to cancel Hulu. But if you subscribe to Disney Plus and Hulu together and you get a bundle price and you get one for like a few bucks more than you would pay for the other separately, then that makes it a lot harder for customers to say, well, this one's only $2. I don't really care, so I'm not going to cancel this whole thing. I'm gonna maintain for a little bit longer. If they also add in HBO Max there's much more likelihood that you would say, well, I'm subscribing to this entire amorphous blob of content here. And so if you're watching Friends and you're watching, I'm trying to think of something that's on Hulu, Golden Girls, that's one that's on Hulu. If you switch back and forth between Friends and Hulu, Golden Girls on Hulu and Family Matters on Max or something like that, you're much less likely to cancel all of them than you are to cancel a single one of them. So it reduces churn. This has been borne out by the business of it all, and all of the streamers talk about how these bundles reduce churn. I think it's good for Max because it'll boost their numbers more to be associated with Hulu. It's a high profile thing for them, even though no one watches Disney Plus. Disney is a more prestigious name than Hulu right now. And this goes to the idea that they might be strange bedfellows here, but ESPN's Hulu-like streaming service, that sounds like that's going to be a good thing for them as well.
So I have a question for you, Jonas. We talked about this on that Park Place live stream, and I wasn't able to ask, but I'm going to ask you: is this an attempt by both Disney Plus, or I should just say Disney, and Warner Brothers to defer the cost of actually owning one of these streaming services themselves, and try to combine forces and try to combine maybe capital in order to, because you're dealing with a company, right? You're dealing with Warner Brothers, who is heavily in debt, who is, I'm guessing, spending a bunch of money to actually produce content and own this thing, just like Disney is. And obviously, you have Disney and their problems that we've talked about at length before. Do you think this is a way to try to minimize those costs going forward, or what do
Well,
you think?
that's it. Okay, so that's a really good question because that makes me think about customer acquisition costs. So if they are working together, Disney Plus and Hulu have their own marketing budget, and as Disney is trying to merge Disney Plus and Hulu into the same streaming service, it seems like they were going to say these are one going forward. And on that same earnings call, of course, Bob Iger talked about how there's going to be an ESPN tile on Disney Plus, and that was going to be a Hulu tile and an ESPN tile. I don't think that we're going to get to the point where there is a Max tile on Disney Plus, but if Max is advertising a bundle and Disney is advertising a bundle, that should increase the reach of both of these streaming services. If there is someone who is somehow interested in only one show that is on one thing, they're going to have a recommendation for buying the bundle of yet another company here. There's also the fact that this suspiciously looks a lot like cable, as Disney Plus has been rumored to go into free with ad support, fast channels, free ad supported tiers, or whatever the T in fast stands for. So it's something that looks more like a traditional channel as you would see on a cable box. So I think Max was looking into a fast product of their own earlier in their lifespan here. HBO Max at the time was saying that they were going to be offering some kind of product like that. And now Disney is saying that they're going to be doing that with Disney Plus. I think this gets closer to being something like cable. And Disney is the larger company here by a wide margin. When Disney lost that 10% of its value, they were losing the equivalent of the entire value of Warner Brothers. So they're waving the bigger stick here. They're able to reach more with less effort, you would say. So I think the intention here is to reduce cost, decrease churn, and of course, just to get more people watching more of their content so that they can bring in more ad dollars. So Vash, did that answer your question?
I think it did. I absolutely think it did, and I think your reasoning is sound. Clearly, I mean, we've talked about like Cedar Fair, for instance, merging with Six Flags, and that was all about reducing the costs of both these companies acting independently. Perhaps this is a way for both Zaslav and for Iger to kind of defer some of their costs as well. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, we want to throw this to our subscribers here and ask you, we'll say all viewers. Of course, if you're viewing this and you're not subscribed, we would hope that you would consider subscribing. What do you think about I almost said HBO. It is HBO. What do you think about a Max, Hulu, Disney bundle here, especially if it includes ESPN, of course, Fox Sports? This just sounds like cable to me. What do you think about that? Let us know in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.